Hey everybody, this is Mr. Cadenhead. We want to take a few minutes today to talk to you about student voice, and it is something that is really important to us at Folsom High School. So I want to talk a little bit about all the ways that we try to value and honor your feedback and make sure that this is a great place for you guys to be. And with that, we also ask that you guys take the time to engage in these things, because without you interacting with us in these ways, it's hard for us to tell if things are working or not for you. So that is essentially what we want to know with student voice is, are things working for our students? And obviously we try to have conversations with you guys and be out as much as we can, but we also want to formally ask about those things and solicit your feedback so we know what needs improvement and how do we allocate the resources that we have, whether that's money, staffing, the time that we use, something as simple as bell schedules, or the programs that we offer you guys, all the way from clubs to classes to social emotional learning to pause structures and policies. So we want to make sure that we value your voice and we reach out to you frequently, and we definitely want your feedback. So I want to talk a little bit about the different structures that we have that value and prioritize student feedback, and one of the main ones is our associated student body or our student government class. That is our student body representation as elected by you or appointed by our student activities directors, Mr. Mills and Mr. Castro. And that is really one of the ways, and a core way, that we connect back to student voices through that representation and your access to those folks as your classmates. And we are really emphasizing with our ASB reaching out to you guys directly and getting your feedback as we move forward on events, how things went, whether you enjoyed them, your thoughts on themes, all that kind of thing, really connecting back to the student body through the ASB. So that again is a main structure for us to represent your student voice, and you should know who those folks are, and we'll try to continue to publicize that this year, so you know how to reach them or speak to them when you see them. We also have Student Senate at Folsom High School, which includes representatives from every pause class, and we hold approximately 8 meetings annually, and those are held Wednesdays during pause 8 times a year. Those reps that will be actually selected from every single pause class will report back after the Student Senate meeting. They come back on Thursday, the very next day, and take the first 5 minutes. We'll hold in place for 5 minutes, and we'll have the rep report out what was discussed in the Student Senate meeting so everybody is aware. We'll also try to do a good job of emailing you guys the meeting notes so that you're welcome to open that and see in that document what was discussed at the ASB meeting. If for some cases you're absent or something like that, you can open those meeting notes. The topics for this are really any general concern about school culture or functions. So if there's something going on campus, again, whether that's schedule related, lunch related, anything that you want to bring to our attention, we want to make sure that we listen in that space. That's facilitated by student government or ASB, but we also have Mr. Mills, Mr. Crannell, myself many times, and we certainly review those notes and we try to assist you guys in making the adjustments you would like to see so that we get things working for you. So that feedback in that format is really important to us. We also, as many of you know, have the Culture Diversity Student Council. We meet approximately 5 times annually, and we also have reps from every single pause class. We also meet on Wednesdays, and these folks will also report back Thursday, just like the Student Senate folks do, just sort of encapsulating the topic of our meeting and sharing out meeting notes, that sort of thing. The mission for this group is that the Folsom High School CDSC, or Culture Diversity Student Council, will ensure a supportive environment for all members of the Folsom High and Folsom Lake school communities, and we will educate our community about issues of equity and inclusion, and will empower those in historically marginalized groups. That is a great place to talk about issues that are really, really important regarding equity and inclusion in a very safe, mature, academic-like setting. It is facilitated by me, Ms. Vaughn, Ms. Deathridge, Mr. Mills, and Ms. Ambrosini, and maybe more. And again, it is a great place to have conversations of anything of concern, but also to just generally learn and educate ourselves about those issues, so we ensure we take care of everybody at Folsom High School. So you can not only join that as a rep for your pause, but anybody who would like to volunteer to be part of the CDSE, we are also going to ask you to volunteer. We'll get your name on the list and we will invite you to our meetings. So we'll have a rep from every pause class, but we will also take any volunteers who want to attend those meetings, and we'll continue to communicate with you through email. So then we connect all this to district policy with our district student advisory board. So we're then, we have representatives from Folsom High School, and that really connects our student senate conversations and our culture, diversity student council to district level policy, and helps influence district level policy. And I think sometimes as students, you underestimate or maybe don't realize the amount of pull you have in our district or at our schools. So we want to make sure the topics that are important to Folsom High School, we are the largest school by quite a bit in Folsom Cordova. It is well represented at the district level. So we have reps who also meet at the district. We will be sending you Panorama Surveys. These are really social emotional wellness surveys. We want to know how you're doing. Everything from, you hear me talk a lot about sleep. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling overwhelmed? You know, what is going on with you at 3 times of the year in particular? And the results from those SEL surveys that are really anonymous unless you request otherwise, we look at big picture. So we want to look at school policy 3 different times over the course of the year. How are you doing? We look at our base implementation, which I'll talk more about later on, which is social emotional learning implementation and modules that we'll all be doing. We take a look at resource allocation. How are we serving you guys? Again, scheduling, pause use, but all these different things that we do, we're trying to get feedback from you guys on how you're feeling, how you're doing. Those only take 10 to 15 minutes. They're really important that you guys complete those. Again, they don't take long at all, but gives us really important information about you. Also, the entire school will do that in pause those 3 times a year. So we'll hold in place about 15 minutes 3 times a year during a pause day to make sure we get those surveys done. Additionally, we do the California Healthy Kids Survey, which is a student, parent, staff survey. And it is really about school culture, wellness, and social emotional wellness, safety, academics, how you're connecting to your academics. Is it relevant? Are you overwhelmed? Are you feeling challenged? All kinds of questions. That's a longer one. That is only once a year. And it's about a 40-minute survey. We send it to parents. Our staff does it. We ask that all of our 9th graders and all of our 11th graders are surveyed. Again, your feedback on that, which we spend a lot of time on analyzing, really helps us drive what we do programmatically and the allocation of our resources. So we'll take time, one time this year, to do that survey and pause, and we really need your feedback. We're also going to check in with you as we have the last few years. Those of you who have been here a few years, we used to call this our 1 through 5, but it's now a 1 through 4 check-in. We'll do it bi-weekly or every other week. And it will be done through our program that we are surveying in other ways on Panorama. And we just want to make sure you're doing all right every other week. It is optional. And we would love to have your feedback, but we just want to quickly check in. It doesn't take but maybe 2 minutes. And a 4 means you're great, and a 1 means you're not doing well at all. And you always have the option to say, I need to talk to an adult today. And the comments and the results from that, which we absolutely review, kind of gives us a pulse on how you are feeling as a student body. And again, allows us to serve any students who are in crisis at the moment to make sure that does not go without us being aware. Okay? At the end of every athletic season, fall, winter, and spring, we do a survey, an end of the season survey. We want your feedback about your sport and how you felt about it. Was it productive? Were you treated in a way that you would expect, right? Was there accountability? Did you improve your skills? All that kind of thing. You have the option to speak with an administrator, or you have the option to remain anonymous. But we do value your feedback, and the conversations we have from that are confidential unless you tell us otherwise. So if you do want to talk to an administrator, we keep that conversation confidential at the end of the season unless you tell us it's okay and you would like to meet with your coach or something like that. So please take time to do that athletic season survey. Otherwise, it's really hard for us to know how you're feeling about those activities. Really hard, as you can imagine, for us 5 administrators to get to every single activity across the school, structure, clubs, performances, visual performing arts, all that sort of thing. So we're trying to reach out to you to see how you feel about that. In addition, there are other structures that we will use as we need, additional surveys, fish bowls, where we'll bring groups of students in and we'll sit and we'll talk about how things are working for you. Maybe our student government will listen in, maybe staff, teachers, mental health specialists, so that we're really listening to the things that are working for you. You can always email an administrator. I know many of you have emailed me. If you need something, please email me. I can also connect you to the people you need to talk to. Sometimes I'm not the best person to talk to, and I'll make sure you get what you need. So make sure you're checking your student email. A lot of these things are going to come to you through your student email. You really want to check that daily, but we'll try to give you a heads up once in a while when these surveys come out that they're in your student email. But you can always send us an email if you need anything. And finally, one other thing that I was able to think of as I'm putting this together is our anonymous reporting line on our website. So I know I'm telling you guys this in the student meetings with all the classes, but remember, this anonymous report, it's called a bullying report online, does not need to be about bullying. If somebody's in crisis, if somebody is at risk for some reason, they're not feeling well, somebody's hurting somebody, somebody's giving somebody a hard time, you can anonymously report this to us. The email goes to about 9 people, and we can look into that and support that person or reach out to them. It's not a bad way to get in touch with us if there's something, safety issue going on over a holiday or a weekend. Again, some of us are typically checking our emails over the weekend a couple times, so feel free to use that report, okay? It does need to be serious. This is kind of a level 3 kind of thing. This is not just a, hey, I'm not feeling great today, I want to talk to somebody. There are a lot of other ways to do that, by seeing your counselor, talking to a teacher, emailing an administrator, emailing your counselor. But this is kind of more of a level 2, level 3. This is pretty severe, and I've got to get somebody's attention right away. Okay? I know that's a lot, but again, I want to emphasize that we value your voice, and if this is going to be a great place for everybody, as we've been talking about, and continue to be a great place for everybody, we've got to continually get your feedback. So again, we're asking that when we ask for it, take a few minutes and give us that feedback in an honest way. Thank you guys. Have a great day.